How can we do that? How can I use my consciousness in planetary world service? How can I use my consciousness to help other people create a subjective God-like reality for themselves? If in truth we each see through our minds, if in truth I see my reality based on my thoughts, my personal thoughts create my reality, and your thoughts create your reality. How can I use my consciousness in planetary world service if God has given each one of us free will to think whatever we want? How can I use my consciousness to help raise the consciousness of this planet if raising consciousness in its truest occult understanding means to help people grow conscious of their identity as an incarnation of God, and if that has to come from within, that realization, and if that has to start with a change of mind that is reflective of God's mind? So how can I use my 36,000 opportunities a day if at the end of the day I cannot make anybody think anything against their will? How can I help raise the consciousness of this world if the only consciousness that I can have any mastery and responsibility over is my own? Well, we cannot think for other people because thinking is a gift and responsibility that comes along with having consciousness. Thinking is a gift and responsibility that comes along with having individuality. Thinking is a gift and responsibility that comes along with being human. So I cannot think for another person, but I can inspire people to change their minds and start thinking in a new way. And if I could manage to inspire somebody to change their minds and start looking at life in a new way, then we will have won half the battle, because the world within creates the world without. And so if our goal is to help co-create a new outer world and reality, then we need to inspire the citizens of this planet to change their inner reality. So if we could but inspire people to change their minds and start looking at life with a new set of eyes, that would change everything. Because as people change their minds and start thinking in a new way that reflects God's way, people will begin to look at life and experience life through the eyes of God. And as people do that, they will start to communicate with each other and act and demonstrate their God-like consciousness. And this is which will have an impact on our global consciousness. Because once we can get people to actually change their interactions and their behavior, this is how we are going to change this world. This world is going to change one person at a time, one consciousness at a time, one thought at a time. And so the key, since the world within creates the world without, and since we want to change the world without collectively, so the key is to inspire people to change the world within, to change their minds and start looking at life with a new set of eyes. But how can we do that? Well, as always, the greatest inspiration that we can give is the example of our own life. Because, bottom line is, let's put it like this. Bottom line is, our life is an exhibition, is a display of our thoughts. All we are is the result of our thinking. And we are embodied thought, quite literally. And so the greatest example that we can give is the example of our own life. Every word that we speak is a verbalized thought. Our words are spoken thoughts. Our actions are our thoughts in action. And every interaction is an exchange of thoughts, nothing more and nothing less. Right now, you are listening to my words, which are the articulation of my thoughts. It's just an exchange of thoughts. All of humanity is continually exchanging thoughts, and we commonly call that communication. But all communication is nothing more than an exchange of thoughts, because every word, whether spoken or written, whether listened to on the TV, on the radio, or whether read in a book or in a newspaper, every word is a spoken thought, is an articulated thought. Every word is preceded by thought. Just like every action is an articulated